Hi guys, welcome back to another video with Pratham Test Prep. This is your host Sanjeet Bhatia back again with a new video on your AILET 2022. If you are someone who is preparing for AILET 2022, then this video is gonna make a lot of difference in your preparation because I am gonna be dealing with a lot of problems that students from AILET face and how can you ace your paper in 2022 if you are planning to give it anytime now. So all the people who are in class 12th right now, your pre-boards will be hitting after next month. So you just have a month right now in your hand to go ahead and start your preparation. So you have to be very well assured that the preparation that you are doing is on the lines of the examination. So first, I want to tell you something really important. So the number of seats that are available in NLU Delhi are 80, and the number of applicants every year go up to 20 to 22,000. Okay, so if you are someone who's looking for that one seat in that college, you have to probably work a little harder than CLAT itself. Okay, so because lesser number of seats, more applicants, so definitely there is more show of talent that you have to go ahead with. So you have to make sure that AILET 2022 you are preparing from right now onwards. Okay, even if your pre-boards are going on, you have to focus a little bit on these competitive exams, because even if you get 100% in your boards, right, you'll not be able to go to a law school because it requires you to give the CLAT in the AILET exam. So make sure that you are balancing both the practices together and making sure that you are not skipping one for the another, right? You have to keep balancing both of them together now. So before we move ahead, a basic request that I do everyone is to hit the like, share and subscribe button. It is for our motivation that we keep making videos for you guys and make it more interactive and also give you some more value added sessions so that it makes it better for your journey ahead into these law schools. Right now, if you are not a part of a Telegram channel, do make sure that you subscribe to our Telegram channel. It is under the name of CLAT@Pratham. Become a part of the channel and get all the free updates. And you can also interact with the top law mentors of the country from different national law universities and ask your doubts also. Right? Now, the first thing if you are preparing for CLAT is that this is the best time to enhance your skill-based subjects, right? So if you don't have time after boards, right, boards are going to take up a lot of time for you. So this is the time where you can practice all these skill-based subjects. Now, what are skill-based subjects? For me, it is mathematics and logical reasoning. So these are two very important sections that require a lot of practice, right? Like a lot of practice. Why? Because mathematics is obviously it's calculative, so you have to understand how quickly you can solve things. And for logical reasoning on the other side, there are a lot of variations that exist in those questions. Okay, so for making sure that you know each and every variation, you have to read them very, very carefully, right? So these variations will help you. Where you can get all these variations is your sectional tests that you have, right? If you're a part of Pratham Test Prep, you have your sectional tests. You can go and refer to those sectional tests where you will find all these variations. Now, maths is going to be a very important section. So most of the people think that law is meant for humanity students, but 50 to 60% of the people studying in these top national law universities are from science background, right? So if you are from science background, they are definitely great at mathematics, physics and chemistry, but maths is something that they will have the utilization in the paper for. Now, if you are someone from commerce without maths, or if you are someone from humanities without maths, it is a maths, it's 10th level mathematics, right? It is not something that is rocket science, so you can also practice it well and get a hang of it again. I can understand that you haven't studied mathematics for last 1.5 years. I'm really sorry, but definitely you can study mathematics now for at least 6 to 7 months and get a hang of it so that you can solve it in the paper. So some people say that mathematics is the least weighted section inside any law entrance examination, but you have to see that if you are leaving the whole section, it is going to make a lot of difference in the marks that you get. It's not going to be a straightforward jam for you. You have to make sure that you are attending the section and you are getting above the average marks, right? More than 50%. You have to make sure that you are scoring more than 50%, because your overall total is going to take you to the college, not topping in maths is going to take you to the college, right? So you have to make sure that you are just giving a little bit effort to mathematics, right? And making sure that you are able to understand each and every concept that is coming up in the course when you're studying, right? Solve every variation, try to understand, and make sure that you are preparing it in the manner that if tomorrow also your paper happens, you'll be able to answer the questions that were asked inside the variation questions that you have solved. Okay, because you don't have much amount of time in your hand, so make sure that the amount of time that you have in your hand right now, which is 1.5 months before your boards, so utilize it completely, right? Don't waste your time in just reading random things and wasting your time in static GK or things of that sort. Make sure that you're practicing these subjects really, really well. Okay, coming to the next part is that practicing skill-based subjects in a consistent manner is very important, right? You cannot just pick up a random weekend and start practicing on that day. You'll be like, I'll study just 2 days a week and I'll just complete all the course. That's not going to take you to a national law university or any other university that you are aiming for, right? You have to have a consistent amount of effort that needs to be followed by you for this regime to follow up into your college also, right? So if you want to convert this exam to an admission in the college, you have to have the consistent amount of effort in you. That consistency is going to pay off really, really well. Okay, now logical reasoning, mathematics, as I told you, and verbal ability also in this matter requires a certain amount of practice on a consistently basis, right? You have to be very consistent that you are practicing 5 to 10 questions, 15 questions every day, so that you keep that sharp on your brain very, very clearly. Okay, now solving few questions every day will make all the difference, right? You don't have to solve 100 questions when you go for a sitting, right? You can solve 20 questions also, and that is fine, right? Why? Because you will stay in touch. That's what is very, very important. If you just leave something for a week and then pick it up after 1 week, then definitely you lose touch, right? You have to work hard again to get that momentum to solve those questions. But if you're doing it every day, then definitely it's going to be an easier task. It's not going to be a cakewalk, but definitely it's going to be easier than studying just on the weekends, right? Now, what happens next is that train yourself for accuracy first rather than speed. Why? Because there is negative marking, right? And if you are someone who's just starting to prepare, you have to see that right now, you to get more number of marks is important rather than solving the paper quickly or solving more number of questions. Okay, so right now your focus should be completely getting on the accuracy part, and just forget about speed. First you get the hang of accuracy. Getting accuracy is really, really important, because it builds confidence also, and it gives you a sense of achievement also. So accuracy has to be achieved in these 1.5 months, because it's gonna pay off a big time to you guys in the paper. Okay, speed can be achieved if you are a person who's consistently preparing and you keep on solving the questions every day till your AILET examination. I'm pretty sure that you will have the speed that you wanted always to solve the paper too, right? But first, train yourself for accuracy, more number of marks, right? Even if there are not more number of questions, I will definitely prefer more number of marks in this matter. Okay, so do that too. Now coming to the next part is that what should be your plan for general knowledge? Right now, general knowledge is an ocean, right? It's never ending. You know that there is no end to general knowledge. It will keep on coming up to you each now and then. Every news that you're reading is important. Olympics also happened this year, so there is new addition of newses. UP elections are also coming up. There are certain elections that are happening, legislative assemblies, and what all is happening in the countries, amendments, acts, new case laws, right? Appointments and resignations. If someone is there are obituaries also. If someone has passed away during your time while you're preparing for the exam, these all of the things have to be covered, right? So it's a very big ocean to cover basically. Now, what can you do to survive in this ocean, right? Everyone who knows swimming inside a swimming pool also don't know how to swim in an ocean or a sea, right? It's a different ball game altogether. Your school was a swimming pool, now this is an ocean, right? Now you have to find the right news for yourself also. That is something that you have to make sure, right? You cannot be just reading the entire newspaper and be like, I'm reading general knowledge. No, you have to read the things that make the most for your examination, which I have the highest amount of rate to come up and pop up in your exam. Now, the point being that general knowledge is something very important for your law exams. Why? Not just for CLAT or AILET, right? Any other law exam also, your GK is very important for your interviews too, right? If you are someone who's going for symbiosis, your GK is going to be tested really, really on a next level, right? You have to make sure that you're reading GK very keenly. And also, as you are going for a professional course like law, where general knowledge is something which is very, very important, so make sure you get in the hang of reading all these things on a regular basis, because this has to be a continued practice once you're there in the university also. Now, if you are a part of Pratham, or if you aren't a part of Pratham, there is something called the monthly compendiums, right? If you are a part of Pratham, you get your monthly compendiums, legal current affairs on your PSIS account. And if you are not a part of Pratham Test Prep and you still want to read the monthly compendiums, there are 2-3 magazines that I can say. There is Pratyogita Darpan, there is Competition in Focus, right? You can go and also purchase these magazines and their monthly compendiums, or you can also take their 6-month compendiums that also come up. So that will be definitely helpful for you to read the general knowledge for your examination, right? Now, reading the newspaper, also skimming through the newspaper is very important. So keeping an eye on these current affairs is going to make up a lot of difference in your exam. Just don't think one thing that you are reading it to just pour it out in the paper. Read it with interest, because you never know what might strike you hard in these current affairs, right? So make sure that you're reading them very carefully. Each word makes sense if it is a legal news, right? So keep reading them very, very carefully. Now, making a revision plan for your GK is really important in these times. Why? Because as GK is an ocean of knowledge, as we have discussed, so there's going to be a lot of things that you have to cover at a lot of critical times in your life. Because when you'll go for your CLAT and AILET examination, you'll not have more than 40 to 50 days to prepare again, right? So now you should have a revision plan for your GK, right? How are you gonna revise these monthly compendiums? You should right now, if you are starting to prepare, you have March, April, May, June, July, August, and September. So you have 7 months of general knowledge to cover right now. If you are able to cover these 7 months right away, then I will say that you should make a revision plan for as soon as possible, that how are you going to keep revising as the months are going to increase, right? So make a plan every 3 days, 4 days, that you're reading 1 month, and every 3-4 days. So that's going to be something that's going to help you out a lot. It's not going to take you more than an hour once you keep on reading and revising all these legal current affairs and current affairs all around. So make sure that you're making a revision plan for yourself. Now, learning is something which is very difficult in general knowledge, right? You cannot learn so many facts, you cannot learn so many dates, you cannot learn amendments, you cannot learn so many laws and acts that have been passed. So what you should do, right? Like, what is the way out of that? So most of the people who are getting great marks in general knowledge, or who have performed really, really well in general knowledge, you have to make this in your mind, that learning is not the way out. You have to keep reading them again and again. So that consistent amount of effort that I was talking about, you have to keep putting that consistent amount of effort, because that's only gonna make you more assured about your preparation, right? So the more consistently you are preparing, the more in touch with you are with the exam, the more revision that you're doing every day, you are getting something to do something regarding the examination. That will definitely help you, and it will keep you focused also. So learning is difficult. Reading every day again and again, or in a weekly cycle also, is gonna do the trick, right? It's going to make you understand that these all current affairs or legal affairs, you'll be easier to learn, right? It will be very easy for you guys to learn these legal affairs and go for them inside your examination. It's not going to be difficult, because once you start revising them on weekly basis, your life would definitely change, right? Because you will start recognizing the newses, right? If you, when you are studying for your CBSE examination, what you're basically doing is studying it again and again, again and again, so that it just registers in your mind. So that will also happen for your CLAT and AILET examination when you're reading your GK also, right? So that is something that you can also do for your general knowledge. Now, mock test analysis and self-analysis, right? So that is something that you have to do, right? Mocks are the life of any examination for law, at least I can say, because I've done it, right? So without mock tests, you cannot do anything, right? And without self-analysis, you cannot achieve anything, right? So you have to take both the things very seriously. Now I will tell you how to go about your analysis and what is self-analysis here, right? So mock tests are the tests that you will give before your exams, a lot of them. I would recommend all of you to start giving your mock tests as soon as possible. Now, analysis of the mock is as important as writing the mock. Okay, if you are taking 2 hours to write the mock test, take another 3 hours to just analyze the mock, right? Because if someone has taken time to prepare those questions for you, definitely there is a hidden meaning behind those questions if you were not able to solve it, right? So analysis of the mock is a very important aspect. Now, when you're analyzing your mock, after 3 to 4 mocks, you'll find your weak sections, that, yeah, I'm not good at maths, or I'm not good at logical, or legal aptitude takes a toll on me, constitutional law is something not my cup of tea. So these analysis will let you understand what are your weak sections, right? What are your weak areas, what you can do to analyze them better and make it better, right? So find your weak sections also. Now, analyze every section of the mock. It's not like if you hate maths, आपको maths नहीं पसंद, आपको read करना नहीं पसंद, या English नहीं पसंद, तो आप वो देख ही नहीं रहे हैं. ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं करिएगा, right? Analyze each and every section of these mocks, because they are really important. Each question is important for your examination. You never know when they can pop up in your paper, and then you will be clueless about them because you never saw them in your mock test. Okay. Now, stagnant scores, right? If you're having stagnant scores in yours, like scores in your mock test, then the analysis of the weak areas will definitely help you. Why? Because they will let you understand which are these variations where you are failing the most amount of times, right? It can be constitutional law, criminal law, contracts, or if you go to logical reasoning, it can be syllogisms, it can be coding, it can be decoding, right? So our seating arrangement, if you find yourself lost in such kinds of questions, it happens with a lot of students. So that stagnancy of scores also analysis will solve, because you'll be able to find the weak areas and the strengths for yourself. Now, single out your mistakes and practice the variations of the topics, right? Now find the mistakes, and also in the variations, find the subcategories where you're losing the most amount of marks. Once you're able to do that, then you can practice those variations. And if you are a part of an institution, or if you are a part of Pratham Test Prep, you know that you get all your sectional tests very regularly, so you can practice those sectional tests also. Next is, be the toughest examiner to yourself, right? If you are taking a test of yourself, just be very fair to yourself. Don't try to cheat, don't try to make things difficult for yourself. Make sure that you are reading and doing everything as a toughest examination, and you are not cheating at all with yourself, right? Self-analysis is very important, guys. We have to feel confident from inside to crack an entrance exam. Your confidence, which is on the outer side, is not going to work. Okay, please understand this. It's a very deep thing to understand right now. I'm pretty sure half of you will ignore this, but please make sure that you are having a great self-analysis sessions with yourself itself. Make sure that you understand what you're doing, where you are good at, where you are lacking. Be the toughest one on yourself. Then only you will gain confidence, friends. Don't fake this. Don't try to lie to yourself. Be very reasonable. If you really want to crack an entrance examination, please make sure that you are true to yourself. right? If you're not true to yourself, you can never get through these examinations, because you will keep on cheating with yourself and you'll never get through, right? So be true to yourself, start practicing also, and make sure that you are analyzing yourself very carefully, so that you can find the best trick for yourself, right? Because when you are going for a mock test, you have to make sure that you are finding the best trick for yourself. What is the best trick? That what sections you have to solve first, and how are you going to follow through the rest, right? That I will solve GK first, then I'll go for logical, then I'll go for maths, and I'll go for English, and then I will end the examination, right? So you have to make a plan for yourself before you sit for any of these entrance examination. It cannot be spontaneous. It cannot be extempo, that you go there, you see the paper, then you decide your strategy. That rarely happens. If you see that there is a section that is pretty difficult on your time when you're giving the examination, then definitely you can skip it, but you should definitely have a plan before going to this examination. You cannot go open-handed to this paper by saying that I will extempo, or I'll go on the site and then I will decide. That's not going to happen. You have to make a strategy before you hit the paper. Okay, so mock analysis and self-analysis is something which is really important for you guys, so stay focused on that. Keep your eyes very vigilant about these things. Now coming to the next part is that understand your competition, right? If you are someone who's writing a competitive exam, you have to understand what kind of competition is coming to give the paper also. Science people, science students, you are in majority for these examinations. So if is anyone from science background watching this, then you are in majority. If anyone from humanities or commerce is watching things, you have to understand that science people are in majority in the examination. So you have to see what are the strong areas of your competitors. It is logical reasoning and maths, right? So skill-based subjects become very competitive here, because law, like legal aptitude and your general knowledge and verbal ability, almost all the people are equivalent, right? Because everyone has started getting the practice of the same while you were preparing for your examination. But maths and logical reasoning is something that they have done 2 years more than you guys. Or if you are confident that they can do it, but you have to understand it is not just about solving the questions here, it is more about tricks and accuracy and speed. You have to have the mix of all the three. It cannot be just solving techniques or solving capacity that you have. It will fail inside the paper. Okay, now difference is made on the skill-based subjects only, right? Because if someone is very scared of maths is somewhere then most of the people lag in our system of law. So definitely make sure that you're not lagging in these subjects. And if you get your score equalized, right, if your scores are equal, if someone gets same scores, same ranks, then definitely your ranking will be based on your legal aptitude marks, right? So the number of marks that you've gotten in legal aptitude will be the tiebreaker, right? If you have the same number of marks in legal aptitude also, this question might arise in your mind, right? What if two people also have the same marks in legal aptitude? Then what will happen, right? So then your tiebreaker will be the age, right? The person who's older will get the preference and the person who's younger will get the second preference. Okay, so that's how your rankings are done in your AILET examination. So make sure that you are well aware about all these things before you are going for the paper. Don't go like empty-handedly. थोड़ा research करके जाएं, so उससे काफी सारी चीजें easier हो जाती हैं. ठीक है? Now cover all the topics in legal aptitude. That's my word to you all, as I am a lawyer myself and a graduate from National Law University, Bhopal. And for going to these top law schools, we have studied all these subjects for your CLAT and AILET examination. So constitutional law, criminal law, law of tort, law of contracts, like Hindu law, Muslim law, right? A little bit of a briefs, right? You don't have to go in like much depth of these laws, because you'll not be able to understand it, because most of these laws that you are reading are not accompanied by a case law. Okay, so that is a very difficult scenario, because if it's not accompanied by the case law, you cannot understand the application of the law. That's why it is kept on the brim itself. It's also called on the surface line, that you're not going deep into it. You are just reading the surface. You're just understanding the basics of these subjects. Now, previous year papers definitely play a very, very important role. If you are ignoring these previous year exams of CLAT and AILET both, you are making a very, very big mistake, right? I will recommend you guys to not do this mistake of skipping the previous year papers. Do make sure for CLAT also, because even if the passage, comprehension based passages have been introduced in 2020, don't skip on the old papers, because it definitely helps you to understand what kind of principles are being found, what kind of factual scenarios can pop up, and also logical reasoning, mathematics and English are still the same, right? So that is something really important that will be covered in your previous year question papers. Now, AILET also is a very tricky paper in terms of legal aptitude, because AILET picks the smallest parts of the legal aptitude questions and changes them, right? So they trick you, right? So you might have studied a similar kind of a problem, a similar factual scenario, but what will they do is changing one word can change the interpretation of the whole sentence. So AILET people do this very, 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 very like regularly, that they change the smallest information in your examination, which takes you a very long way, right? So make sure that you are reading these questions very carefully, and also marking the answer on the basis of the principle that is mentioned in the question. Don't wave off, don't get emotional while solving all these questions, because they are going to make you giving you emotional statements and statements that grab most of your attention, but those statements are not going to give you an answer. So make sure that you are reading these questions really carefully and not getting trapped by what is given by AILET, and you are acting really smart. Okay, now next is that careful reading of the questions is gonna make all the difference, because you'll be a little hasty and in hurry while you are solving the paper, so you will always skip a lot of things. So make sure that you are carefully reading these questions and you are not acting hastily, and you are patiently reading these questions and giving the right answer. I have told you, accuracy is first for you guys who have just started preparing. First accuracy, then speed. Focused on accuracy and then speed. If you see that the paper is difficult in AILET or in CLAT, make sure that you are focusing more on accuracy then, because if the paper is difficult, a lot of people are going to give wrong answers, and definitely the cutoffs are going to go to a lower side. So make sure that you are focusing on your accuracy first, then your speed. Okay, read the legal aptitude questions really carefully. Don't be in a hurry or like hasty. Make sure that you are preparing on these lines very carefully. Solve the questions for all these subjects. Okay, don't leave any of these subjects. Make sure that you are covering all you can. Okay, coming to the next part for the video today is that strategy for 12 students, right? If you are a 12 student, what you should do. If you are an 11 student, you can relax and you can start preparing your legal aptitude, maths, logical reasoning, English, all these things, right? But if you are in 12th standard right now, the tables have turned. Okay, my friends, the tables have turned, and the things are gonna be not very rosy from here now, as it's gonna be a difficult journey for all of you guys who are gonna give 12th standard this year. Why? Because competition exams, COVID situation, you don't know what happens in the boards. So there is a lot of stress that is going on in the students always who are there in the 12th standard. And this COVID situation has also accelerated it. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to start as soon as possible. That's the first thing. Okay. Don't think there's a lot of time left. There's no time left in your hand. You have to do it, and there is no other option you guys have in your hand. Okay, get a reality check how much time is left in your hand right now. If you see October, November, and maximum December extended that you can prepare for your CLAT full-fledgedly, I'm talking about. Nothing more than that. After that, your things will be focused more on your boards and less on your competitive exams, right? Consistency is required to crack the exam. So do make sure that you are reading daily and solving some of the questions daily. Start preparing your GK from March of 2021 till the month of your exam. Don't think that you have to read from June or July or nothing of this sort happens. Please read it from March itself, because reading from March 2021 is definitely going to give you a lot of background, right? A background to start from, right? And a continuation, because March is the ending of the financial year also. So there are a lot of big decisions that are taken during these times that are going to affect the whole next year. So make sure that you are reading it from March 2021 itself. Now, start giving subject specific tests also, right? And mocks will open, by the way. Like, mocks are something that you have to do, but subject tests are also very, very important, because they help you to deal with all kinds of variations that are involved in these topics. Okay, so reading these subject specific tests will help you guys a lot. Okay, and these mocks will also open up the way to success, because when you'll go for an exam in your AILET examination, you will feel that you are giving another new mock, right? Nothing more than that. So that is something that is gonna boost your confidence while you are there in the examination. Okay, so that is the starting strategy that you can pick up if you are someone in class 12th and watching this video. If you are some important tips that you can follow. First, find the balance between your board prep and your law preparation, right? You have to find out how many hours can I even dedicate, right? How can I cut off somewhere and give some more hours to my CLAT prep examination or whatever examination you are planning to give. So you have to find the right balance. Finding the right balance is something that's going to make half of the difference in your preparation. Okay. Now, the next is solving the previous year papers. As I've told you, what is the importance of these previous year papers? So previous year papers would be of a great help. Don't think that वो तो हो गया, अब क्या आएगा, CLAT में 2020 में पैटर्न चेंज हो गया था, उससे पहले के पेपर्स किस काम के हैं? ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, friends. Make sure that you are solving all these papers. Okay, consistent of effort is required by you guys. So ये आप अपने दिमाग में रख लीजिए. Without consistent effort, there's no success ahead in these examination. Weekend preparation से आपका admission नहीं होगा. ये मैं आपको आज ही बता रहा हूँ. If you are someone who is involved into such kind of just weekend preparation and not reading something on your own, or if you have joined a coaching and they just give you a coaching on Saturday and Sunday and you're just happy with that, don't do that. Just keep reading for weekly basis. Also, you have to prepare on your own also. Okay, understand all the patterns of the examination and prepare for all the law entrance tests, right? That is one of the things that I will give you as a tip. Just don't focus on CLAT and AILET, right? These are national level examinations. All of them almost are national level examinations. So there is no guarantee of you getting an admission. No one can give you a guarantee that you will get into a national law university. So make sure that you are preparing for all the exams: SLAT, MHSET, LSAT, BHU, BLAT, JAMIA, if you want to go ahead with that, right? Open up all the options for yourself. Don't bind yourself in just these two options, because it's going to take you a long, long way, guys. And I don't want you to skip on these other great opportunities that are there. Some people might say we don't want to go anywhere except NLUs, but still you should fill the form. If you don't get through these NLUs, then you will be in a very difficult state of affairs. And I have seen people getting in such state of affairs, and I request you guys not to do such steps. If you are a dropper or a retaker, make sure that you are definitely preparing for all these examinations without a fail, so that it helps you in the future. Please make sure that you're filling all the forms. You might spend a little more amount on filling up all these forms, but it will be definitely worth it. Okay, it is for your career. You're gonna invest 12 to 15 to 20 lakhs for your law education. So for giving up on 20 lakh rupees, you can spend at least more than 10 to 20,000 more on your forms and get all the registrations done for all these examinations, because you don't want to miss any chances. Okay, now next part is mentorship for your prep. right? If you haven't taken any mentorship or guidance, right, please get in contact with your mentors and also get a mentorship session and get the best strategy for yourself. Mentorship guidance is really important for you guys. Now, last point before I leave is that make sure that you are analyzing each and every test and you are giving your best and you are being the best examination and the most hardest, toughest examiner on yourself. So go ahead and take these mentorship sessions and also do the analysis for your each and every test. Okay. So the final words is that you have to focus on each section equally. Maths play a very important role in your paper. Don't plan to leave any section, because leaving a section is going to be a vulnerable mistake that you'll do in the paper. Consistent effort is required. Acquiring skill as well as knowledge together. Don't just acquire the knowledge and just forget about the skill. Don't do that. Make sure that you're acquiring knowledge as well and skill also, right? Scoring 80% and above is important in boards. Why do I say that? Right? Why is getting 80% and above in boards important? Because CLAT के conditions में तो लिखा है आपको 50% लेके आनी है, and if you are from a reserve category you just need to get 45%. Then what is the need of getting 80% in these board examinations? So the need is that when you will go in these law schools, there might be some companies that will be come to you for providing you packages for like 15-16 lakhs, and but they will ask you to have a minimum percent of 80 in your 12th standard. Then I don't want you guys to regret. So that's why I'm telling you to score minimum of 80% in your board examination. That's going to be the right way to go ahead. Don't think that boards are not going to pay off. They're going to pay off when you don't know it at all, right? So make sure that you are scoring 80% and above in your board exams. Anyhow, you should get above 80% with or without anything. I don't care. You should get 80%. Okay. If you're not able to, then you have some of the companies losing up right itself before you even go to the law school. Okay. So make sure that you are getting above 80%. Now, last point, not the least, is that understand your competition and prepare accordingly. So you can see that people are preparing from 1 year, 2 year, crash course. Every kind of person is preparing for these examinations. So you should know your competition, how many people are seriously preparing for it, how many have just filled the form and are not really interested in the paper, what kind of people are going to come from science, commerce, humanities, every background, everything. You have to consider every factor and give your best preparation. So understand, you have understood your competition now. I have told you about it all. So don't rely on someone that they will get you an admission to these law schools. You are the only one who can get you an admission to these law schools. So start preparing for all these entrance examinations and make sure that you are really focused on these papers, because this time is gonna change your lives, all of you guys. It's gonna change your lives for sure, and you'll not realize it right now, but 5 years, 6 years down the line, when you'll be graduating from these top national law universities, you will have a very different mindset than what you have right now. So that's my recommendation to all of you. You should start preparing for it. Understand your competition, get it inside yourself, get the best consistent amount of effort, prepare all these tests very properly, analyze your papers, analyze yourself, and get the best out of yourself for these examinations, because that's the last chance you've gotten. Even if you get 100% in your boards, no law school is going to give you an admission. So you have to prepare for CLAT and AILET examination and any other entrance examination that you're following for as your dream. So go ahead for that. Keep preparing, understand your competition, and also go ahead with your serious preparation from right now onwards. Don't wait. Don't think that Monday will come or Sunday will go, anything of that sort. Stop lying to yourself and start your honest preparation from today itself. If you are looking for any counseling or mentorship, or if you are not able to find the right path to go into this preparation, you can definitely give us a call on 5x9 75392, and I'll be happy to help you all. Right? So that is it for today, guys. I hope I was able to give you some information about these law schools and colleges and courses, and AILET also in particular, and you were able to find the right preparation strategy for yourself, right? So that is it for today from my side, guys. I hope you all are wearing masks and using your hand sanitizers and also maintain social distancing. If you are above the age of 18 years, do get yourself vaccinated, and also make sure that if you're not above 18, you are telling other people to get vaccinated, right? So stay safe, keep smiling, keep preparing. Hope you guys have a great weekend ahead, and hope to see you all again on a Monday with a new session on your legal affairs that have happened in the past week. We'll be discussing a lot of interesting news on Monday again. So hope to see you all soon again. Bye-bye, guys. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Keep smiling and keep preparing. Bye, guys.